Hi, you're watching Kira D, and today we have the hobby as well. Today we'll be talking about our personal finances. If you have ever wanted to consider what is the best way for a married couple to deal with their finances, this might be the video for you.
I think when it comes to marriage, finances play a huge role in the success of your marriage.
Yep.
Not necessarily having a lot of money, but how you as a couple handle money together, because money is such an important thing to our individual lives, that if we can handle it collectively, if we can manage it well collectively, then I think that it adds great value to our relationship as a whole.
Right. I think what we've hinted to already is the fact that we pool our resources, not just in theory, but in actuality.
Yeah,
we pool all of our finances. So it's not his money or my money, it's our money.
From
all
day one,
money.
from
Yes.
day one.
All money is our money. And so that's exactly how we manage our finances. So we're not saying that pooling your resources is without any challenge whatsoever.
Oh yeah, there are challenges.
There are challenges, especially in the beginning phases. It can present some challenges that we do have to consider if this is the option that you choose to go forward with. So what are some of those challenges? If you have a very individualistic mindset,
It will not work.
this will not work. This is not for you. If it's like I just really want to just do my own thing, then this probably will not work for you.
Yeah.
Having said that, if you do decide that this is where you want to go, just know that especially in the beginning stages, it can take some getting used to finding a rhythm of compromise, because as individuals you would have different ideas, you would have different paths that you might want to take. I might want to invest in this while you might want to invest in that. That's just normal and natural. But finding that a rhythm of compromise where we're able to say, okay, listen, I understand what you want, I understand what I want, but like, what do we really value? What do we really want to accomplish? And then finding a compromise and deciding, okay, this is what we're going to do with our finances. That can take some getting used to. One of those other things that might take some getting used to is the whole idea of being really open in terms of talking about finances. Not everybody grew up in a household where talking about finances is something that you do openly. It can be very uncomfortable, just being completely open in terms of spending, in terms of earnings and all of that. That could take some getting used to.
Yeah, and I agree. And I mean, a lot of people come from different backgrounds, and there is a lot of psychology as well attached to how people feel about money.
Yeah.
So when a person has been taught by life to work very hard for what they want and to earn their keep of life, so to speak, it's very difficult to want to share that with somebody. And so that transition is very difficult, I think, psychologically, because if you've grown up as a very independent person who, you don't depend on any man, you don't depend upon a woman for anything, and your whole sense of self-worth and value is in the idea of being able to take care of yourself and to provide for yourself, then most certainly the idea of having exposed yourself to somebody financially is very deep. That's a level of exposure that I think a lot of people may not be very comfortable.
Yeah, it's a very vulnerable place to be in, because you make yourself vulnerable, but you're making yourself vulnerable to the person you've committed your life to.
Your life to, yeah. I agree with that. If you are committed to somebody, really committed to somebody, then open up. I mean, it may take some time, but there must be, I think, some willingness over that time to be a little bit more open, right? It helps the relationship. again, just getting over that individual mindset and moving more towards a collective mindset. And hey, I think that takes a lot of trust.
Yeah.
And if you're going to be married in a serious relationship with somebody, trust is what it takes.
Right.
So if it is that you feel like you cannot be that intimate with somebody, because a marriage is not just about sexual intimacy, because somewhere down the line you might find yourself at odds with that person and you might separate or you might divorce simply because of your financial intimacy.
Right.
It is lacking.
Right. So what we're saying is that, like, if you do choose to go this route, understand that there will be challenges that come with it, especially in the beginning phases. But I promise you, once you are you're in it for the us mentality, and once you are determined to work on compromising and work on openness and build that over time, eventually you will find your stride and it will become like second nature.
Correct. I want to encourage the person though who may be striving towards this, but are having serious issues. Maybe their partner is having serious issues with the idea of pooling their resources, of coming together financially. To be patient with your partner. Again, everybody has a story.
Right.
We all come from somewhere. We come from a background that may have trained us or taught us to think a certain way about our finances, about not trusting other people where your money is concerned, because that's like releasing a major part of your heart, setting yourself up for potential loss. So I want to encourage you, if you're in a relationship with somebody like that, you want to consider this whole idea of putting your resources coming together on all these fronts, to be patient with your partner, because we all run at different speeds and it may take some time for your partner to come into that level of understanding and ease and comfort doing something like this. Because what you don't want to do is to rush or to push that person into it, and then it develops that sense of resentment, you know, of you for pushing them into what they may not have been ready for.
Right. And if this is done the wrong way, it really can create that feeling of animosity and resentment towards the other partner for you having to feel like you're giving up so much, whether it's giving up the actual finances or giving up your sense of independence or whatever it is that you have attached to having your own finances. It can it can really create resentment if not done the right way. So just approach it from a place of love and just having that team spirit, like we're in this together, you know, we can accomplish great things together, and this is why we are doing it.
I feel very comfortable trusting my wife with everything. Everything. I mean, we don't have that issue. We don't have that problem. I don't have any issues or any problem when it comes to you know, our finances, because again, we're on the same page when it comes to what we're trying to do, where we're trying to go. Again, hashtag goals. And whatever goals that we have, it's ours. It's ours. So I remember we went to a vision board. What's it? It's a
vision board party.
A vision board party. And you know, persons were to create their vision for the year and all of that. We had to do the cutouts and paste them and all that stuff. My wife came like totally prepared. She had cutouts before. She had her board well lined and decorated, ready for the activity.
I'm that person. Once you say stationery is involved, listing, planning, organizing, I'm that person. Shout out to Motivate 268 who hosted that party.
Right. And so we went to the party, sat down, and I remember, I don't know if it was you or somebody else was asking if I was going to do my own thing. And then I remember specifically telling you that no, I'm going to be working on your vision board with you, right? Because in my mind, right, much of her vision is also my vision. And so we ended up working on the vision board together, because a lot of her goals are also my goals. Yes, I do have my personal goals. But really and truly, I find that a lot of our goals have to somehow align in order for us to have the kind of synergy that is necessary for our relationship to go the distance. And so we worked together on that vision board. And I mean, I'm sure you've seen it in one of our videos before.
I'll link it above. I'll put it in the card somewhere above.
And somewhere. And I mean, I can say today that if we were to go look back at that vision board, that as a couple, we have achieved quite a bit of those things that we set out to do. And that was because we've been doing it together.
Yeah. So I think what that tells me is that you don't have to be fearful about losing your individuality. While we're in sync in terms of our goals, yes, you can still have your personal goals. If I set out to read 100 books in a year, that's not necessarily his personal goal, that's my personal goal. So you do still have your sense of individuality. But when we're talking about finances, we really do have to be on the same page if we want to achieve great things together. Because
you can imagine that my wife is like, well, I'm gonna pay off this thing. That's gonna be my goal for the year 20 whatever, right? I am gonna pay this off, and that is not my goal. Can you imagine if that's not my goal? That's just her goal.
Twice as long.
Exactly.
And be twice as stressful.
Correct. Because you can imagine me spending money how I want to spend my money, and she has this particular goal of doing this. We're going to be at odds at some point in time in our relationship. So being on the same page, having the same vision, having some similar goals as well, gives us that kind of tunnel mindset or tunnel vision for what it is that we want to get done. It's easier for the two to work together.
Right. So I mean, yes, we've listed some of the challenges, legitimate challenges that can come with moving forward like this in terms of our finances. So I guess you could already tell, but having looked at what the challenges are, do you still think that the way that we approach our finances is the best way to do it? And what is the biggest reason you would say yes or no?
I think for us it is the best way. I wouldn't particularly say that the way that we've chosen to do it is the best way, but it is the best way for us. Would I recommend it as the way for most couples? Yes, I would as well. And that is because of the peace that we have as a couple. Simply, we don't have arguments over money. Right? We have sit downs, we have discussions about what we're going to do with that money, how we're going to accomplish this with that money. But we don't have arguments, we don't fight over money, right? We don't have insecurities over money. So it eliminates a lot of that, which helps the relationship. We can focus our energies on other things. We don't have to argue.
Like arguing about the toilet seat up or down. You can, I mean, there are other things to argue about.
Yeah, we don't argue
about that either. I'm just saying, there are lots of other things you can find to argue about. Money does not have to be one of them.
Correct.
For me, I would still say yes, it is the best way for us to handle our finances. And I think for me, the biggest reason is that us mindset. I love the fact that, like, it's always we're in this together. If we want to achieve something, like, we are going to get it done. And it just creates this sense of unity and togetherness that is, to me, priceless when it comes to being married and staying married. I think that really works for us. And yes, I would 100% recommend this as a preferred method. You might say, if not the best, a preferred method to approaching finances. So I would encourage any couple, all couples, to give this approach a shot.
Yeah, jump in the pool.
Yeah. So thank you guys for watching. If it is that you want to ask any questions, add to the discussion, share your opinion, feel free to do that in the comment section. We thank you so much for watching, and we will see you on the next leg of the journey.